We are joined now by Dr. James Goldenring and Dr. Brennan Spiegel, who are here to talk about the DDW photo policy, which has been, as you gentlemen know, debated by some of the attendees. Now, as it stands right now, attendees are not allowed to take photos during the presentations of people's slides to prevent that proprietary information from being accessed outside of the session. So, Dr. Goldenring, let's start with you. For the most part, you feel the policy should remain as it is?
Yes, I think that one of the really important things about this meeting is that the AGA requires that authors of abstracts only submit abstracts on unpublished data, and that data can't be in publication at the time of submission of the abstract. And that flows into the philosophy at the meeting of the sanctity of that data. And part of that is to say that you can come to this meeting, present new data, have that data publicly discussed, but not have any fear that that data will be rapidly disseminated before you're able to publish that data in a peer-reviewed journal. And that's critical to a lot of basic and translational scientists.
Dr. Spiegel, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a scientist too, and I present data here and can appreciate that point of view for sure. The way I think about it is, you know, we're here at a conference like DDW, in fact, to share. That's why we're here. That's what we are, exchanging notes, exchanging information. And in terms of fear of somebody taking my data and publishing it, well, those folks are probably in the room. I mean, my competitors, if you call it that, may already be there taking notes, even if it's not photo documented. They have many opportunities to, you know, document what I'm saying. So the way I think about it is if what I'm presenting, it's up to me what I'm going to present in a public forum. If I present something that's good enough for the people in that room, why isn't it good enough for people beyond that room? The 15,000 people that are following DDW hashtag or beyond that, so that I can actually disseminate my work even beyond that room.
You see a difference between taking notes and taking pictures? Is that a big difference as far as you're concerned?
No, I think it's more philosophical. I mean, people taking notes, you can't get everything. If you take a picture, you can get the full data in a graph or et cetera. But I think the big point of this is that this is a philosophical statement that for when you come to present, that your data is safe and regarded as proprietary and yours. And I think that's something that the society has to endorse. And lack of endorsement will probably mean that scientists will not come to this meeting.
Do you see that happening,
well, I mean,
turning away scientists who are worried about not just sharing, because I think all of you want to share, but somebody, you know, lifting that information and using it as their own?
As soon as it comes out of your mouth in a public forum, it's in the public. And if you're going to disclose something publicly and you're concerned that there could be intellectual property, better get that in a disclosure report with your university and have it officially documented before you even take the risk of putting that information out into a public environment. So to me, there are checks and balances. It's ultimately up to the investigator to determine whether he or she is comfortable presenting the data. And if there's any concern that it either hasn't been optimally protected through legal mechanisms or through the university mechanism, or worse, there's going to be some bad behavior, which, by the way, is probably going to happen whether or not somebody's taken a photograph of it. Those are people do bad things either way. To me, those are distinct arguments from whether we can photo document one another's, you know, slides.
Dr. Goldenring, do you see that as a good safeguard, what Dr. Spiegel mentioned?
No, actually, I see it as a kind of intellectual nihilism that we have to fight. The internet and social media is great for disseminating information, but it also needs to respect our own work. And I use this term intellectual property not in a legal term. I use it in its broad term of scientific knowledge being presented for discussion, not final interpretation. And this is something we have to protect at our scientific meetings.
So do you, Dr. Spiegel, see a middle ground here of any sort that's a change from the current policy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the point of different philosophies is an important one, and ultimately this is about different philosophies, I guess. And so, you know, a philosophy for me would be, I know patients are following the Twitter. I know that lots of stakeholders are following and who don't have the opportunity to come to a meeting like this and exchange notes and share. So for me, I want people to see whatever it is that I am going to present personally. So maybe a middle ground is allow each investigator to make his or her own determination of whether or not they'll allow people. I encourage people to take photographs of my work because I'm not going to present anything that's that I'm worried if somebody else takes it, they're going to scoop me or get a patent or something that I've been working on. I'm just not going to present something like that.
Right.
Otherwise, I want everyone who possibly can. If it's good enough for the eyes in the room, it's good enough for the digital eyes all around the world.
Right. And I think there's some concern about having a policy that has exceptions may be more difficult for everyone to follow rather than just a blanket policy.
Well, I don't think you have to. I would agree that we don't have to have a blanket policy. If people have a reasonable opt-out and say, yes, I want to put my data open, it's already done in the e-posters and DDW Live. You get that option. I think if we act on that option, everybody gets probably what they want. We will maintain the integrity for the deep basic science sessions and still allow new clinical trials as such that you want to rapidly disseminate to get out to the public.
All right, and just to make sure everyone's aware, the current policy is no photos in the sessions, but DDW administration would like to hear from you. If you have an opinion on this, as these gentlemen do, then let them know what you think as well. Dr. Spiegel, Dr. Goldenring, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.